Hi guys, this is Neil and welcome back for another online educational vlog. So ito ang chapter 6 ng discussion about the 10 reasons supporting why you should take your master's degree, which focuses on skills development. So bakit nga ba important ang skills development kapag ikaw ay kumukuha ng master's degree? So ito yung reason. Developing your advanced and transferable skills are essential for your success in today's competitive and rapidly changing job market. So paano ka makakapag-develop ng mga skills and abilities para maging advantage mo or maging competitive edge mo compare sa mga competitors mo sa job market? So una dyan is by continuously upgrading your skills and knowledge. So of course, meron yung mga seminars na nag-upgrade ng mga knowledge ng trends ng job market, ng trends ng iyong field. Kailangan mong gawin yan continuously kasi isa yan sa magiging competitive edge mo compare doon sa mga competitor mo for the same position, for the same field, or the same industry. Pangalawa is by taking master's degree, of course. Kasi yung master's degree will give you an idea or will give you the learning or a specialized learning para sa isang specific field, specific position, most especially sa pagiging manager or director or sa pagiging head of operation ng isang company. So yun yung magpe-prepare sa'yo para maging ready ka to take on a management or a leadership role. So next is i-describe naman natin kung ano ang skills development. So, based on what we are discussing now, kasi reason nga siya to support why you need to take your master's degree. So, ito yung description ng skills development. First is by gaining hard skills. So, ano ang hard skills? Yun yung technical and field-specific abilities. So, technical is about actual yan. Most probably actual yan kasi technical. Like sa engineering, pag sinabi mong technical, lahat ng mga actual specifications and actual machine production details, yun ay technical. Example ng technical yan. Pwedeng actual application of a job or a task at work. Yun ay pwedeng maging technical or pwede rin niya maging field specific na abilities. So field specific is in which area do you perform your job or your work or your task. So specifically from which industry it belongs. So yun yung mga specific areas na pwede mong i-consider sa mga hard skills. Next skills naman is soft skills. So ano ang soft skills? It's either communication, leadership, or critical thinking. So dito na pumapasok yung magaling ka mag-analyze, isa kang analytical thinker, isa kang critical thinker, magaling ka mag-decide or mag-observe or humanap ng solution when it comes to critical situation. Madali ka mag-decide sa mga bagay-bagay na kailangan mo ng rush decision na alam mo na kahit ganun pa man mabilis kang nag-decide, aware ka sa sarili mo na you can trust your decision and tama yung naging decision mo. So, yun ay isang very important part na dapat mo matutunan kapag nagma-master's degree ka. And yun dapat ay isa sa magiging outcome after mo mag-take ng iyong master's degree. Next is communication skills. Communication skills is very important, lalo kapag ikaw ay naging manager. Kasi dapat, ang pagiging master's degree holder talaga, when it comes to communication, hindi na yung example, nung hindi ka pa nagkaroon ng master's degree or hindi ka pa nakapagtapos niyan, may nagrereklamo na employee. Ang ginagawa mo is parang ginagatungan mo pa. Maraming manager na ganyan. Parang sinasang-ayunan nila na ganun din sinasabi nila yung negative side sa kanila na ganito, ganyan. Parang sinusuportahan mo kasi yung pagrarant ng employee or pagsasabi niya ng negative parts sa organization or the company. Para sa akin as a manager, hindi siya karapat-dapat na ganun ang gagawin ng isang leader or isang manager kapag nagrereklamo ang employee. One way na pwedeng gawin dyan is, okay sang ayunan mo, pero never mong dagdagan yung sama ng loob na sinasabi niya sa'yo. Ang pwede mong gawin is, after you empathize, humanap ka ng paraan or solution na maintindihan niya yung situation. Wag mong i-diin yung company para lang masabi na wala kang ginawang masama or wala kang bad na influence or wala kang sagutin doon sa sinasabi ng employee sa iyo kasi ang inisip mo nga is manager ka lang at yung company dapat ang nagpo-provide niyan. What is the best thing to do is that kailangan mong ipaintindi sa employee kung nasaan yung situation niya. Ano yung dapat niyang gawin? Ano yung mga pwede niyang paglaanan ng panahon para maging solution doon sa problema niya. So for example, meron akong isang staff na nagrereklamo na hindi daw nagtitrain ang HR namin ng mga skills development na training. Hindi raw nagsisend ng staff na mag-aral. Hindi raw nagbibigay ng sponsorship for study. So ang ginawa ko as a senior member or in the managerial level na, hindi ako sabi na mali yung sinabi niya. Sinabi ko sa kanya, yes, tama yung sinabi mo. Tama yun. Huwag mo sabihing mali kasi mag-aaway lang kayo. Kaya lang, sinabi ko sa kanya na, as an example, inoferan ako ng company na gawin yan. Na isisend nila ako sa school or babayaran nila yung tuition fee ko. Kaya lang, as a professional, alam ko sa sarili ko na binabayaran ako ng kumpanya based on my professional expertise at kung paano ko yun i-apply sa trabaho. So meaning, kapag ganun kasi ang relationship mo sa company, ito ang company, ito ka, dyan kayo mag-meet sa center. Ibig sabihin, kung ikaw ay professional na binabayaran ng company according to your skills and knowledge and abilities and capability of performing the work, hindi mo dapat biniblame yung company doon sa educational or training requirements mo as the employee. Kasi ang gawain ng company is to give the basic information about the company. Kaya nga may orientation. Kaya merong some certain trainings yearly kasi para ina-update yung knowledge kung sakaling may mabago sa informations like the standard operating procedures, like the guest services or customer services procedures, or handling internal, something about mga documentations, mga supporting data, sa data analytics, mga ganun. Or something internal process. So, yun yung trabaho ng company. Pero ang trabaho mo bilang learner ay i-continuous ang iyong improvement. In what way? Pwedeng umattend ka ng training. Maghanap ka ng short courses para ma-upgrade yung knowledge mo. Gaya ko, kumukuha ako ng master's degree. So, yun yung time na nagaganyan ako sa employee. Kasi ang employee, you can treat them as a learner. So, ano ba ang kailangan mong sabihin sa learner? Hindi lang kasi siya nakakababang empleyado, kundi kailangan mong ipaintindi na naging ganun ang posisyon mo. Or ako, ganun ang posisyon ko. Dahil yon in-improve ko yung professional skills ko. So, kapag naintindihan nyo ng employee, hindi na yun babalik sa'yo na magrereklamo, maghahanap yun siya ng solusyon kung paano niya ma-improve yung sarili niya, saka siya babalik sa'yo na improve ko na yung sarili ko, ano yung next na gagawin ko. Or kung ayaw niyang i-improve yung sarili niya, mananahimik na lang yun doon sa area niya. Kasi always, improvement for yourself, for your professional skills, abilities, capabilities, or kung ano pa man yan ay choice. Kung ayaw mo ma-develop, hindi mo kailangan gawin ng kahit na ano. Kung gusto mong ma-develop, kailangan mong i-push yung sarili mo na ikaw mismo ang gagawa ng paraan paano mo makukuha yung development na yan. Hindi yung organization, hindi yung company, hindi ang management ng company, hindi ang manager mo, kundi ikaw mismo dahil binabayaran ka ng company according doon sa professional expertise mo. So, yun yung dapat nating maintindihan dyan. So, medyo maba ang discussion sa part na ito. Kaya naman, i-discuss ko na lang itong next na key skills na dapat mong mag-gain from taking a master's degree. So, ito yung una. Critical thinking and analytical skills. Yes, so, na-slightly discussed na yan on the previous vlogs din. And ngayon lang din sa previous section ng discussion na ito. Ang critical Thinking kasi analytical skills are evaluation of complex informations, or pwedeng analyzation of data and situations, or it can be to make an informed decisions. So, ito yung isa sa mga essential na problem solving and strategic roles na pwede mong magawa as a manager or as a leader in an organization or for a team. Kung ano mang klaseng field na ikaw ay nasa leadership role or managerial role. Kasi yan ang purpose ng pagkuha talaga ng master's degree, para maging strong critical thinker ka at analytical thinker. Next is research and investigation skills. So, isa yan sa mga dapat mong matutunan kapag ikaw ay kumuha ng master's degree. Yun yung sa strength ng, ano ba yung strength? Strength sa paggawa ng research projects or dissertations. So, hindi lang kasi documentation ng research. Hindi lang yan documenting something, kundi you are looking for a certain problem on the real life world scenario na bibigyan mo ng solusyon as the researcher. Hahanapan mo ng way kung paano siya ma-solve, magre-recommend ka, hahanapan mo kung saan nanggaling yung problem, i-justify mo kung bakit siya nagkaroon ng problem, alin ang gap doon sa problem. So, part yan ng pagkakaroon ng master's thesis or dissertations. Sa iba kasi ang tawag dyan sa master's thesis is capstone project. So, yun yung nangyari sa Masters in Engineering Management ko. And plus, gagawin ka ring strong yan when it comes to data collection and data analysis. Yes, kasi nung nag-bachelor's degree ako, hindi ako gumawa ng data collection. Kinulit lang namin ng yung sa, ano kasi yun, divide ang work namin. 3 kasi kami. So, baka iniisip mo na hindi ako gumawa ng research. Hindi kasi, ang nangyari kasi niyan, division yung work namin. Ako ang gumawa ng justification ng research. Ako ang gumawa ng recommendation. Pero ang gumawa ng data collection and yung data analysis is yung dalawa. Kasi yung isa doon ang nag-analyze at nag-gawa ng chart sa collection of data. Pero ang pinaka nag-analyze talaga sa lahat, yung nagbigay ng tawag dito, yung pinaka analysis ng data was done by statistician, dahil yun ang suggestion ng aming research advisor. Gumawa nila ako ng data analysis, including from the collection and forming, including the kung yung classification ng data and analysis nung nag-master's thesis na ako, kasi meron akong research na quantitative and qualitative. Mix approach kasi yung sa akin doon sa master's degree. Doon ako gumawa ng lahat ng yan. Ako ang gumawa mag-isa kasi ako lang yung researcher and meron lang supervisor na nag-guide sa akin. Which is very, very worthy experience din. Kasi alam ko na ngayon kung anong gagawin ko just in case na magkaroon ako ng panibagong research. Kaya ang pagkuha ng master's degree will help you to conduct an independent and evidence research work. So, kaya naman, kapag ikaw ay nag-thesis ng master's degree, talagang ang suggestion is ikaw lang mag-isa. Kasi lahat ng process ay gagawin mo. So, next naman is number 3, which is the communication skills. So, communication skills, ano ba yung pwede mong ma-develop dyan? So, of course, yung speech mo. Yung how do you speak to people? How do you improve your writing when in terms to academic? How do you improve your presentation skills? Kasi malaki ang improvement talaga sa akin yan kung how do I present information sa reports, sa data, sa analysis, and sa profit and loss, especially sa department, kasi kailangan kong analyze at kailangan kong ilagay into a graph para ma-represent siya kung paano siya dapat ma-represent into a valuable presentation at paano mag-reflect yung factor ng profit and loss na theme. So, profit and loss means ano yung allocated budget compared doon sa actual expenses. Gano'ng kalaki ang losses or gano'ng kalaki ang gains mo. So, either positive or negative lang yan. Another part of communication skills development is your professional skills. Gano'ng kalaki ang improvement mo as a professional. As a person who is about to take on a leadership role. So, kailangan mo i-consider lahat yan. Kasi, yung communication skills kasi is very important for you to create a teamwork or an effective leadership or a strong client interaction. So, kasi kailangan yun, kaya siya strong dahil malaki ang trust na binibigay ng client sa iyo. Dahil alam nila na mapagkakatiwalaan ka. And you are a very good communicator din. So, yan ang communication skills na kailangan mong matutunan sa pagkuha ng master's degree. Moving on naman sa fourth factor, which is problem-solving skills. So, yun yung nabanggit ko kanina na ang problem-solving skills or ang skills na dapat mong matutunan is about this na kailangan mong matuto kung paano mag-address ng real-world problems or challenges or issues or mga concerns ng mga employees. Kasi bilang manager, kailangan alam mong i-adjust lahat yan. Kailangan alam mong i-absorb and ilabas kung ano yung dapat na solution. Na best solution na alam mo na magiging long-term siya. In effect, kung anong operation ka man nandyan, anong field of work man yung ginagawa mo. Next is to develop a practical solutions. Practical solutions means pwede mo siyang i-apply from one area to another or pwede mo siyang ipagamit from different generations of employees. Kasi kung ang gagawin mong solution is short term, ngayong buwan lang, the next month is nothing, isa yun sa mga sinasabing practical ba yan or not practical? Kasi kailangan ang practical is a long-term solution din. Hindi lang siya short-term. Yan ba ay kayang matutunan ng older generation of employees compared to the younger generation of employees? Kaya meron yung mga consideration on how these solutions can be adjusted according to the age of your employees or team members. Next is key factor number 5, which is the leadership and management skills. So, ang master's degree also ay nagbibigay ng learning or dapat matuto ka ng learning about team coordination or effective team supervision. Hindi yung nag-master's degree ka, pagkatapos mo nag-master's degree, mas lumala pa yung supervisory skills mo, naging down pa lalo. So, hindi siya effective, plus hindi siya align kung ano yung goal mo to learn that skills from the master's degree. Better decision making. Kasi dapat maging better ang decision making mo, maging much faster ka, maging much more efficient. Project management. So, ang project management dapat more effective din siya, more efficient and more practically applicable sa halos lahat ng areas na meron ka or lahat ng section na meron ka sa under ng team member, under ng team mo or under the organization. Kasi it is very important na pwede mong i-apply ang isang solution from one place to another or kung kailangan mang i-modify, a very slight modification or minimal modification lang and pwede mo siyang gamitin. So, example dyan is the way we draft our training records or our training attendance sa department is ginagaya ng ibang department. Kasi bakit? Kasi isang list lang yan, isang A3, ganito lang. Nakalist yung mga staff number and chine-check lang namin kung sino ang naka-attend ng training saka sila pipirma kapag katapos ng training. Kasi dati, ang ginagawa ng mga departments is nagpiprint ng each A3 and nagsusulat yung mga employee ng mga pangalan ng mga employee number. Minsan kasi nagkakamali-mali, kaya ang ginawa namin is ganyan na nga kasi para pirmahan lang nila. Ita-track na lang namin, automatic pagtapos ng isang training, dash yung hindi naka-attend. So, ginaya nga yun ng ibang department yan. So, ibig sabihin is a practical solution to efficiently implement proper documentation while ensuring na kaya itong i-adapt ng iba't ibang level of employees at depende sa age din nila whether they're old or younger. So yun yung example ng practical solutions. Next naman na key factor is the time management and discipline. So time management and discipline, when it comes to study, it is about learning kung paano ka mag-prioritize ng task. Paano ka dapat mag-meet ng deadlines or be earlier than your deadlines? Paano ka dapat mag-remain organized kahit na napipressure ka na sa pag-aaral? Kahit sa trabaho, ganun din. Paano ka maging very organized kahit na alam mong pinupukul ka ng pressure everyday. Ng boss mo yan, ng employees, sa mga complaints nila, sa mga other departments na nakipag-coordinate sa'yo. Kailangan magstay ka as a composed person, an organized person, and a very efficient worker kahit na you are undergoing immense pressure. Daily man yan, every hour, every minute. So, very cool ka na nagtatrabaho kahit ganun ang sitwasyon. Next naman is the challenges and limitations sa pag-develop ng iyong skills when you are taking your master's degree. So, ito yung mga yon. Una is, skills development depends on engagement. Yes, kasi ang passive learning na sinasabi is, naglilimit kasi yan ng skills growth. So, passive learning is, i-search natin yan dito. So, medyo mag-search tayo. Kasi, hindi ko to na search nung tinatry ko siyang i-form into a discussion. So, ito yung passive learning na sinasabi. So, basahin ko ito. Passive learning is an instructor-centered approach where learners absorb information through listening, reading, or watching with minimal interaction. So, ang online learning kasi is one example of passive learning. Kasi hindi ka nakaharap or nakikipag-interact sa instructor mo. Kung meron mga recorded videos, iintindihin mo yun according to what you understand. Ang sabi niya dito, naglilimit tayo ng skills growth. It depends on you as the learner, kung paano mo siya i-apply. Kasi, ang solution dito is meron. Yun yung sinasabi ko sa'yo na 4 steps of learning effectively in online study. So, una is method. Reading ba yan? Writing ba yan? Listening ba yan? Yun yung mga yun. Or listening or watching sa mga tutorials or video lectures. So next is understanding. Ano ang understanding mo? Doon sa methods na yon na nakuha mo. Third step is application of the knowledge based doon sa naintindihan mo. Kasi kailangan mo makita nga doon sa number 4 which is verification kung tama ba or mali or dapat meron ka bang i-improve doon sa application ng knowledge na naintindihan mo sa binasa, sinulat, pinakinggan or napanood. So, yun yung solution dyan. Next naman ay yung active participation is required. Yes, kasi kung ikaw ay hindi mo talaga matututunan yung way na sinasabi ko, so kailangan actively participating ka doon sa face-to-face class. So, kailangan mo rin kasing i-consider yung mga factors na yan kung alin ka dapat doon. Ikaw ba ay kaya mo na mag-online class? Or kailangan mo talaga ng physical or face-to-face class? I-consider mo yan sa part na yan. Kasi para makuha mo yung very essence kung paano ka makapag-develop ng iyong skills sa pag-take ng master's degree. Next challenges naman tayo or limitations is theoretical and practical skills. Yes, kasi meron yung mga program sa master's degree na focusing more on theories than application. If you would ask me, kailangan talaga yung practical application para ma-fully develop ang iyong skills. Kaya nga lang, again and again and again, meron nga akong steps kung paano isi-solve yung gap na yun. Kasi depende talaga sa'yo kung paano mo gagawin yung practical applications na alam mo sa sarili mo na matututo ka talaga kahit wala yung actual interaction mo sa class. Yun yung sinasabing ikaw mismo ang nagtulak sa sarili mo para matuto. Hindi mo kailangan ng ibang tao. Kasi ako, mag-observe nga lang ako sa tawag dito, dyan sa tabi-tabi or sa mga nag-uusap. Marami na akong natututunan. Marami akong nakukuhang information. Hindi yun para mag-chismis sa tabi din ha. Meron kasing sometimes kailangan mong pakinggan yung sinasabi ng tao kasi kailangan mong maintindihan bakit gano'n ang sinabi niya at ano yung dapat, meron ba siyang dapat na baguhin dun sa sinabi niya. Malalaman mo lahat yan kung isa kang observant. Yan lang yung example dun sa part na yun. Kasi nga, theoretically, very informative ang mga lessons pero practically, hindi lahat ng theory ay naa-apply according to the practice. Kasi iba-iba ang level of application yan. Kaya yun yung kailangan mong i-balance doon sa online study na kinukuha mo, whether it is a bachelor's degree or master's degree or PhD or DBA man yan. And next challenge is variation across programs. Yes, kasi hindi lahat ng master's program ay emphasizing your skill building capacity equally. So, hindi lahat yun ay nagbibuild ng iyong skills. Yung iba kasi nagbibuild ng professional attitude mo or well-being as you. Kung ano yung dapat na approach mo. Pwede rin yung iba is naglalak ng hands-on learning opportunities. Hindi sila lahat nagagawa ng practical applications. Kaya nga, depende yan sa'yo na learner kung paano mo siya gawin para mas effective ang iyong learning. So, based dito sa style ng learning outcomes na binibigay ng isang institution or ng isang master's program, dapat based din doon kung paano ka humanap ng solution, whether it to expand your side, to push yourself to learn, or to focus kasi maraming binibigay na practical applications yung program na kinukuha mo. Kung anong program man yan on a master's degree or specific skill development program. Kaya number 4 na tayo ngayon, which is time and effort required. So dalawa lang yan. It's either a continuous practice or a consistent effort. Kasi isa yan sa mga kailangan mo para mag-develop ng fully develop talaga yung iyong skills and abilities and capability to perform according to what you have learned on taking your master's degree. Next naman is, ano ang key factors that influence skills development on taking your master's degree? So, una is the program structure. Yes, kasi ano ang structure ng program? Meron ba kayong case studies? May mga projects ba kayo? Meron ba kayong mga internship opportunities to enhance your skills? Kasi ako, wala naman ako internship. Kasi nagtatrabaho nga ako habang kumukuha ng Master's in Engineering Management degree ko. Next is, yung practical learning kasi, sinasabi na it better give you more good outcomes or improved outcomes. Pero hindi nga din kailangan lahat ng time. Kasi nga, gaya ko na nagtatrabaho na, kung ano yung natutunan ko ngayon sa lesson, ina-apply ko na yun maya-maya. So, parang internship na rin yun. Parang practical learning na rin yun. Next key factor naman tayo, which is the faculty quality. Yes, kasi yung mga faculty or instructors and professors na nag-guide sa iyo, it's very, very crucial na marami ka ring natututunan sa kanila at marami silang binibigay na advices sa iyo. Another one is the learning environment. So, ano yung klaseng platform na kung saan ka nag-aaral, yung learning management system? Interactive ba yan? Or meron bang group work encouragement yung mga nagko-collaborate sa platform or yung mga nagko-operate ba talaga yung mga classmates mo? Kasi yan ay very, very crucial for your motivation as a learner to continue your learning journey. Kasi minsan kapag nagkaroon ka ng kaklase na hindi cooperative, minsan naglulos ka ng motivation. So ganun ang nangyayari sa akin nung kumukuha ako ng bachelor's degree. Next naman is the personal commitment. So, dapat may commitment ka sa iyong pag-aaral. Dapat committed ka and i-dedicate mo talaga yung oras para doon. Kasi para ma-develop mo talaga yung skills mo on time na gusto mo and according to what is your goal, kung ano man yan for professional, personal, or community purpose. Fifth factor is the industry relevance. Yes, yung program dapat is aligned with your current industry needs. Dapat useful siya and applicable skills regardless of the level of position na meron ka nung kinukuha mo yung master's degree. Kasi kung nasa lower ka, you are being ready na para mag-take ng leadership role or managerial role. Nire-ready mo yung sarili mo. Sixth factor is the opportunities for practice. So yun nga yun. It's either sa internships, sa projects, sa simulations, para ma-strengthen lang yung learning capability or learning ability na dinidevelop mo sa pagkuha ng master's degree, or ang gagawin mo dyan kasi ang practice transforms your knowledge into competence. So practice either from your internship learnings or from your personal work experience na learnings. Kasi kailangan mo talaga yung mga yon para mag-fully develop ang iyong skills at maging ready ka to take on to the next role. Kasi nga, kumukuha ka ng master's degree to develop specific skills and abilities para maging ready yung professional skills mo at yung sarili mo to take on the next position or the leadership role na yun ang goal mo as a professional sa industry or field of work kung saan ka mang area nagtatrabaho. So, ang key takeaway sa video na ito or sa chapter na ito is ito lang yun. Taking your master's degree doesn't just adding knowledge or skills, but it is also about building your skills and shaping how would you think, how would you work and lead. And it is more about the more engagement you can provide, the more you can grow as a leader or as a manager. So thank you for watching this vlog. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe na rin sa aking channel kung ikaw ay bagong nanonood pa lang. And see you on my next vlog, which is the chapter 7 of the same discussion. Bye!